Hello, House Hero Clan and Wham Fam, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live with the House Heroes. We do everything on Tuesday related to real estate. So, everything. I don't care if it's sales or mortgage, we do real estate. We're very interactive. Please hit the notification button, tells you when we go on, as well as go hit the comments if you have any questions, anything to do with real estate. We're more than happy to answer for you. And just go ahead and say hi. Wave to us. We want to know you're out there and we want to know you're checking in. So tonight we have quite a lot going on. We're going to continue our series of our home buyer's guide, the summer version. We're going to go over chapters 5 and 6, as well as some significant information that's in the news. So I know that I want to go ahead and introduce my pal and business partner, Ryan Lineker. How you doing, Ryan?
Partner in crime, doing all right, Troy. Thanks for asking.
Dude, you got that, what's that shave here, man?
Oh, I know. It's a little shave here. I think my hair might be a little off kilter, but hey, I love it because I got it cut. So I was happy. You know, I call it the Netflix cut. It's kind of like sport clips, but it's like the Netflix clips. Like you gotta watch Netflix while you're getting your hair cut.
Oh,
and this is exactly why everybody should have home ec. Like, you know, you should have a chance to take like wood shop, maybe, like auto shop, home ec, because look at where we're at, man. Like my garden's looking good. My hair is cut thanks to my beautiful wife.
Well,
so
you know the crazy thing that came out today is that some lender threw out there 1.99% 30-year fix. Now, I know things are going crazy, right? I mean, we're just hearing all kinds of different news shot at us all over the place. But now now the sales pitch is coming in with some of these lenders. 1.99, a 30-year fix, and then you start reading the small print, right? And then all these little fees come out, all this craziness. We're at that point where this is, to me, is going to be the last big mortgage refinance, blitz that's going to happen. We can't really go anywhere else, right? I mean, where are we going?
We're going to 1.5, baby. 1.49.
Well,
Here we come.
First of all, you're gonna have to automate all the systems, right? You have to dump a lot of overhead, and that's the way to do it, right? Just go to automation and then eliminate the human factor.
Well, they don't need any office space anymore, right?
No, exactly. Working from home. So awesome. Hey guys, how you doing tonight? Again, we're going over the next two chapters, actually chapter 6 and chapter 7. But first of all, we want to kind of keep you updated on what's in the news. Ryan, kind of go over what we have available here today.
Yeah, let's jump through it while I'm pulling that slide up. Just want to do a couple shout outs. I want to say what's up, Omar. Good to see you. Good to see you, bud.
Omar Rodriguez.
Tamara Pearl Jensen. No, Omar Hernandez is watching. Jamie Cruz. I got RJ. What's up? How's the new pad? I got keys last week, so really excited. We got to get some of that on Instagram. So I know Heather will be putting that up this week. And then, and there's Heather. Speak of the devil. So jumping right in.
You're gonna call her devil.
Who you got over there, Troy?
Veronica, how you doing? Frank Mejia, thank you very much for tuning in with us. Ricardo, he's just shooting this off to another friend. And again, anybody that is in that whole real estate idea of thinking, okay, what's the first step, which we get a lot of that, or anybody that wants to take that first step and doesn't know where to go, please go ahead and share this video with them.
Absolutely.
And we're more than happy. I know Min on the WHAM side, on the mortgage side, us on the real estate side, we can definitely help you take that first step and then all the steps and all the processes going forward.
Yep.
So tell us about unemployment, Ryan.
All right. There's some of it out there. But the good news is it's a slow and steady improvement. So we're not getting worse like everybody had feared. Things are getting better. Jobs are being created. And what's interesting is, I feel like there's the shadow unemployed. They're talking about, there's some people that aren't even on unemployment because they've given up. Well, I'm saying there's a lot of people on unemployment that have jobs waiting for them that are getting paid more to be on unemployment. So these numbers are skewed. But what I do like to see is numbers are getting better. So, as you can see right now, it's don't bet against the U.S. economy. That's the theme through all of this. And it's showing up in our unemployment report. So that's solid.
Well,
and obviously, go ahead.
Well, I want to go over this. We just actually added about 1.8 million jobs, and if you look at it, I just kept hearing the news on how bad the job employment was, like going in after the second wave they called it, or continue at the end of the first wave. And then to see that now we're down to 10.2% unemployment. I mean, that's actually pretty good. I think people, I hate to say this, but I think they're settling in on this COVID thing, right?
Absolutely.
More and more people. And I still say that there's a significant amount of 18 to 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds that just are staying away from it. I mean, what would you rather do? Have a part-time job paying minimum wage? Or would you collect unemployment and then start schooling, which starts literally within a week or so, and then focus on schooling going forward? I think that's actually, and we're going to see those unemployment numbers come out really quick and really soon, and they're going to break out, again, the restaurant, hospitality, those particular sectors are the ones that are hit the most, and those are the ones that employ the youngest of the young.
Yep. No, that's solid. I couldn't agree more. On top of that, obviously, driven by low inventory, high demand, we are seeing bidding wars. Prices are going through the roof. So in July, as the numbers came out, there was a year-over-year increase of 8.5% in the average or the median price. That's nationwide. So, we've got areas like San Francisco that are crumbling, price point wise in the inner city. You've got New York going through a lot of turmoil on their prices and stuff as people are you got the flight out of the inner city. Even with all of that going on, you've got the median home price going up. And what we're going to see with all those people moving around now that they're not locked into where their jobs were, located and things like that, you've got a lot of people going into these resort communities, these suburban communities, and just getting out of the urban center where they're just ready for that break. So it's going to be very interesting over the next couple of years to see the shifts in real estate and where people are living. But what we can see here in Southern California, we've got the weather. People want to be here. At the end of the day, you want to stick around where your family is too. It's hard to uproot, aunts, uncles, cousins, sisters, brothers, everything. So, you can tell right now that even with a lot of stuff that's going in that urban core, in San Francisco and some of that stuff, we're just not seeing it here. The only push is people are, trying to go out and find affordable housing right now. It's almost impossible.
So let me put a spin on this. This is how I want to put the Southern California spin on the nationwide numbers, right?
Yep.
So let's say you went out and 12 months ago, last July, you and your family bought a $400,000 home. You literally walked into that property and you put 3.5% down. Your equity just for making 12 easy payments is about $35,000, $36,000, $37,000, right? So you've already gained that much in equity, but your 3.5% that you put down, you add that to your equity because that's what you've already paid out. You're well on your way on conventional under 20% and all those FHAs. You're well on your way of getting rid of mortgage insurance. Keep that in mind.
Yep,
this is what this number spins to. And I want everyone to understand that this is, again, nationwide 8.5%. Me and Ryan and, you talk to men, our opinions is we're much higher than that. Probably in the 12 to 15% jump in some of those communities. If that's the fact, everyone out there who bought a home just 12 months ago should be able to be, looking at getting rid of your mortgage insurance. It's so important. Remember this, everybody. Okay, the lender is not going to go knock on your door or call you on the phone or throw you a text, and they're not going to say, hey, you've got 20% equity in your home right now, so let's turn around and refi it, or let's go ahead and knock off mortgage insurance. One of the two. They're not going to say it. You have to be on top of it. I know that, for a lot of people out there, there are specific different applications that you enter your information, such as what you bought the home for, what you put down for, what your terms are, and they'll send you like monthly updates on what your home is worth and then how much equity you have in it, because you actually added those information up front. That is real important. And you also want to contact your real estate agent in which you bought the home for and ask them, hey, can you give me a market analysis of my home? It's so important to understand that, because I know a lot of you out there, the refi boom, you want to make sure that you're refi and just ripping out that mortgage insurance.
Yep. That's a great right. So, we've seen people, we're looking at this number. So July was year over year, 8.5%. We're seeing some of these cities right now, you had an 8.5% gain in the last 30 days. Mm-hmm. So I know we've got people in 60-day escrows. By the time they close, they've got 5 to 10% equity just while they're in escrow. So it's absolutely nuts out there right now. We're seeing things fly off the shelves. If you guys are looking to get in the market, definitely stick with us because we're going to jump into the meat and potatoes here and go over the 4 tips, what you need to know to get in and get your offers accepted. Mm-hmm. So, and obviously, like Troy was just talking about, refi craze, rates are low. They hit a brand new record low. You're looking at 2.8. That's just, I keep thinking there's 2 numbers we can't hit a new floor at. REO numbers, how many foreclosures are out there? They just keep hitting, new and new lows. I know I don't think we ended up with the slide in here, but last week there was 175. I know we went to the slides. You forgot to remind me. And then this week it's 165. So this week it dropped 10. The week before it dropped 10. I mean, we're going to be having, and this is in the entire MLS in Southern California here. I know in Orange County, there's only 18, distressed properties total. It's like 7 short sales and 11 REO floating around, or vice versa. It's an absolute dried up, fraction of that market. So rates are low, historic numbers. Again, we just keep hitting records way down. It's like an elevator. We just keep going down. You got some shout outs over there, Troy?
Yeah, actually, I had a few questions here. What's a market analysis? Is that comparing your home to the comps and sales? Absolutely. It compares to the solds in your area and as well as pendings and actives. So it all kind of weighs heavy on the solds because that's what a appraiser is going to go off of. And when you actually go refi or try to get rid of your mortgage insurance, you want to make sure that's what they're going to go off of. So the pendings are future sales, and you hope that they close at or above what they were listed for. And then you'll see those new home sales. As if you watch the market and you look at those monthly, then you'll notice that your market continues to ratchet up. And again, guys, I can't stress this enough. You know how many people out there, and this number is like that secret number. How many people are paying mortgage insurance that are 20% or over in equity? No one tells you that, right?
Nope.
They don't want that number out there because it's eye-popping how much the mortgage insurance companies are taking in your money.
Them, though. You can see them walking down the street. They got a big old sucker right across their forehead.
Yeah.
They just pay that bill and forget about it. No, you guys need to be going in. If you've got mortgage insurance, check your equity. When you have enough equity, get rid of that MI.
So Kay says, I never got a text since we spoke. Kay, did you DM us? Please go ahead and DM us at the House Heroes. We're more than happy to go back and forth with you and answer any of your questions if you don't want to put it publicly here. And if you're looking for a copy of our home buyer's guide, guys, just go ahead and either DM us or you could turn around and just ask for it here and we'll get that copy out to you right away.
Absolutely.
Linda is saying, when can you refi on a CalHFA loan? CalHFA loans, I believe, are just similar as an FHA loan. I think you have CalHFA FHA and CalHFA conventional. I know they haven't been doing conventional in the last 4 or 5 months, but that you should be able to refi that out fairly quickly as well. Now, again, you have the CalHFA loan that you'll have to pay off, right? Because that's a second on your house. Right, so you definitely want to get back with your mortgage lender,
Absolutely.
And that should be your best friend. And if they're not picking up the phone, then there's somebody else out there that wants to refi. But get with them and have them, do a couple things. One is get with your agent, get a market analysis, see how much equity you've gained in your house during the time you bought it to right now, and then get with your lender and ask them, if I refi now, does it lower my rate, and can I get rid of my CalHFA loan, or how can I get rid of that? Right?
Great.
Omar, you guys are awesome. Great info. Keep it up, guys. Thank you, Omar. I just talked to you. It's just funny you said Omar, and I said Omar Rodriguez. Omar, thank you very much, man. And we really appreciate all the time and effort we spent together. Got you into your home, and we're gonna work through any issues you ever have with that home. I'm here for you. Josh, do we ask for a mortgage analysis? Well, basically a lender is not gonna go over and tell you how much your home is worth. Some of you out there will go to Zillow. It's not accurate. It's and Redfin. It's not accurate. In fact,
it's not enough info.
Yeah, and a lender will not take any kind of dollars coming off of any one of those two platforms. They want an actual appraiser to actually look at your house. So what I typically say, the most accurate appraisals without paying for one is getting a market analysis from the agent that sold you the home, right? And so that's the most important person. You should be able to, all agents should be more than willing to help their clients right back out. I don't care if it's a year or two later, just keeping in touch with them. Get that market analysis. I can't stress that enough. I see people pay $150 for almost the entire length of time that they've had their home, and it's insane. You're just throwing free money away. So please jump on that.
Yeah, and a little more on that market analysis. Any agent should be able to do a CMA, that comparative market analysis for you. Normally the servicer will tell you they want to see 3 comparable sales that are like yours. They might want to see, one pending, and normally they don't really care about actives, but any agent should be able to prepare that CMA. Ask the servicer what they want to see in that CMA. I have heard that some servicers are going to want a full-on appraisal. Some want a actual broker's price opinion, which is kind of like a CMA. It's just on a more formal form. We used to do a lot of those when we were working with foreclosures and stuff. So if you have an agent who's been around long enough and used to do any sort of foreclosure work, they should have a form they can put that broker's price opinion on. Mm-hmm. But those are the 3 that they normally want before they're going to remove your PMI. So,
and I mean, if you've just exhausted all avenues and you can't get a hold of your agent, just go ahead and DM us, and we will do our best to get that out for you and help you through it. I know that I don't want anyone out there paying, from $80 a month to $200 a month in mortgage insurance. It's just not worth it, right?
No.
We also, I'm still kind of going back and figuring out. I have a couple of companies out there that I've reached out to, and I'm trying to get them to send out emails or actually have an app on your phone that once a month it'll show you a CMA and it'll show you what your home's worth. And again, if you enter your information into their app, it will give you an accurate depiction of, as you make a payment every month, your equity goes up, and then it'll also show you the market. And that actually your payment goes down, right? What you owe goes down, and then the market goes up. So that spread you can keep, in play and see if you get, closer and closer to 20%. And actually, Ryan, isn't that pretty exciting to see that every month?
It is.
I mean, I'd be excited, especially.
Well, that's why, I love Credit Karma. You get to watch. It's like a game. Like, let me get my credit higher. When you start having those games and those goals, it's the same thing. Like, hey, look, I'm looking forward to getting equity up, things like that. Now, equity can be out of your control, obviously. You're,
right.
With the money you're paying into it in principal reduction, it's kind of hard to control that. It's the market. But let me do a couple more shout outs. Just want to say what's up, Roxy, one of the other house heroes out there. Eddie Alonso is watching us. Good to see you, Eddie. Marcos, Brian. Rachel says, hi, house heroes. And then you've got Nina. She's like, hopefully Ryan gets me into a home soon. Pressure is on. We got that offer. I need to get it back signed, by the way. So still waiting for Hopi on that one. And then Emily's watching us as well. So good to see you guys all on here. Let's get in the meat and potatoes here, because we want to make sure you guys are getting this content. The market, we always say it changes, day to day, week to week, month to month. This is on hyper speed change. Right now, if you're looking at getting into the market, you cannot wade into the shallow end. Like, you need to do the swan dive, belly flop into the deep end. You have to be ready. When you see that home you want, you've got to let your agent know. You've got to book a showing that day. If they won't allow you to show it that day, the very soonest they'll let you book it. Mm-hmm. You need to be booking that house because bookings are they're booking up. So you've got people that are only doing 2 and 3 hour showing windows, and that's it.
That's it.
After that, whatever offers they get, they're going with one of them. And the problem is they're going to have double-digit offers going well over asking price, and we'll get into some of that. But we need you to know is you absolutely have to be ready. And the number one thing is you need to educate yourself about the process so that you are ready to be able to do that swan dive, belly flop into the deep end for some extra points there. So how do you do that? I mean, everybody watching us right now, you're doing it right. You're on social media trying to get information out there. And, if you guys are curious, please DM us. We'll get you our guide, and go out there, talk to your friends. What referrals do they have, agents, things like that. If you can't get your questions answered, feel free to reach out to us. We're here to ask questions. I know Troy was answering some questions on somebody who's in escrow on a new home, doesn't have any representation, and it's stuck. They won't let him do a home inspection, and she at least knew enough to do one. So we walked her through how to go about doing that earlier today. But the biggest thing out there is educate yourself about the process.
Yeah.
You got anything to say on that, Troy?
I mean, I'm this is what we do, right? I mean, if all the, I love dealing with clients, but I love to actually educate everyone. I mean, if you talk to people out there, I know that the first step is the hardest step. And if you can get with the right people, and actually if you can just begin the step and understand the whole process, you feel more comfortable with it. I've said this once, and I know I've said it many times, is that when I first bought my home, my very first home, it was a tough moment. I had no education. There was no education out there. I'm going to age myself. There was no internet, right? so
was there electricity?
Yeah, there was barely electricity. We just started, Edison just started putting that together. But to be honest with you, I just kept getting that whole thing, and I'm sure some of you are getting it now. Trust me, trust me, trust me. So the lender said that, trust me, trust me, trust me. The agent said it, trust me, trust me, trust me. So the worst, I mean, I literally can walk into a bank and say, what is your rate? And they won't even tell me the rate for a home loan. So I had no idea. So when I went through the first process, I bought the home, I got into it. I had no idea what comparables were. I had no idea if I had a good agent or a bad agent. Today, I love this. I love educating people. You go out, you go to your own realtor. Now you know what to look for, in a house yourself. You're not relying on the realtor itself. You have the 5 things you want to look for. You have, on contracts, you want to get that information out to you. Educate yourself. I love that the millennial generation and Generation Z is out there right now, and they're soaking it up, and we're seeing younger and younger people buy homes. That is awesome. That's awesome.
Yep. No, that's a great point. And then next, getting a mortgage. So you guys got to get out there. You have to talk to a lender. I talk to people all the time. Oh yeah, like I know I'm good. Well, what makes you think I'm good? Well, I make a bunch of money. Yeah, but it's not what you're actually bringing in. It's about what your tax returns say. It's about what your bank statements say. And a lot of people out there, especially if you're a small business owner, you've got a lot of write-offs. Lenders don't like that. They want to know that they have something that's very easy to predict, that you're going to have the steady income. There's no write-offs. They want to be able to see where money is coming and going and have it documented. If you guys are self-employed, you absolutely need to get with a lender right off the bat. If you're a normal wage earner, you need to get with a lender. Especially now in the world of COVID, if you've got overtime, if you've got regular overtime, if you've got these things, lenders need to go in and they need to detail out that income and figure out, because even though you're getting that income, doesn't mean they're going to actually give you all of that value when they're pre-approving you. So you want to get with a mortgage professional right off the bat. You hear these rates, 199. Yeah, but what you don't hear is, oh, it's coming with a $10,000 cost, even if you got a 750 FICO. So you want to get all of those details. You want to drill down and ask those questions. There's a lot that goes into a loan. We'll leave that to a different episode, from debt to income, credit, all that. But the earlier you get with a lender, if you need any sort of credit repair, they can get you on that pathway to be able to get your credit, fixed. If you need to do any structuring, on your income or structuring on debt, paying down cars, anything like that, they can get you on that path. But the worst thing to do is go out there, look at properties, find one you like, try and write an offer, and then not even be approved. Right now, the market's so hot, and with COVID going on right now, you need to be booking these appointments. And most agents, what they require, pre-approval up front, proof of funds, and sometimes, and always this coronavirus addendum. Sometimes they'll even ask for your desktop underwriting, your DU findings from your lender. They want to make sure, because they've got these narrow showing windows, they don't want just anybody, traipsing through there, spreading the COVID through the air. So they make sure that anybody walking through that door is solid as can be. And I've had it where they're like, hey, no, your client isn't solid enough to even see this home. We're not accepting FHA on this. We want conventional only. And it's like, whoa, really? And it's like, yeah. And in that case, I fought it, and we still got in. They didn't accept our offer, but at least we got a peek at it. But you guys have to start this day one. This is the first thing. You don't want to put the cart before the horse and be looking at these properties. So you want to make sure you've got a good lender. You've had a consultation with them. You understand what loan programs are available for you. Are you doing conventional 3%, 5%, 20%? Doing FHA, VA, like Troy was saying, you got Cal HFA. You've got a lot of different programs out there, and you want to make sure that you know what loan program you're going with, what those constraints are, so that way your agent can properly, market you to that seller and that listing agent. Because end of the day, it's not like you're buying a home anymore. You're winning. And I mean, you got to put your best foot forward from your lending standpoint, what you do in life. Like, it's like, I feel like, you've got this cover letter now, and it's a beauty contest out there. Like, oh, like we've donated this many hours to the local church and mission, and, where it's nuts out there right now. So you got to do everything you can to connect with that other side, to come across like a human being. And on top of it, put the most money in their pocket in the fastest amount of time. And the only way to do that is if you have all your ducks in a row. Number one, you got to be pre.
It's kind of funny you say that, Ryan, that whole like a letter that comes up that you want to include to have that kind of touch the seller. I have had in the last 2 or 3 weeks an agent say, yeah, you have a family and they first time home buyer, blah, blah, blah. I got 10 of those. And I'm like,
it's so true.
Wow.
And the funniest part is I still had one agent the other day only 1 day on market, took a cash offer under asking price. We were well over 15. We were a 15-day close. They went with a 15-day close cash offer under asking. I'm like, it's the same time period. And this lady, she basically told me point blank, I don't have to do anything with the cash offer. I'm just going to sit back and get paid. I don't have to do any more showings. I don't care if the seller nets another 10 or 20 grand. They've had this property as an investment for a long time. They're going to do just fine. I mean, they left a ton of money on the table. Then I find out, as I'm checking in with her every few days, hey, how's it going? That you hit any speed bumps? My clients are still ready to step in. She tells me the day before they close, oh yeah, well, this one won't be back on the market. They're going to flip it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You're not even going to give a family a chance out there right now. You're going to give it to an investor when it was totally lendable. And then, I got a conventional buyer out there. So that was rough, but you still got to put that letter together. I know that that's a lot of times now it's fallen on deaf ears, but you still got to try. So, that's the thing right now is you have to do everything. Right. You have to, fire on all cylinders.
And I'll just elaborate one more thing on this, Ryan. Yeah. I don't like to call them loan officers because that's kind of a cliche, if I want to call it. I'd say they're financial advisors. There's a lot of really good financial loan advisors that will tell you, hey, you know what? If you really guys want to get that rate and get that payment, then I'm going to go run you through what's called a credit analysis. And it tells you that if you were to pay down these cards or pay off these credit cards or, spend a few dollars less on, this or that you can absolutely, two things. One is raise your credit score. And number two, it allows that the debt to income ratio to go down, and then you can qualify for more home, and that's not even adding to, the amount of income that's coming in. So very, very important. That's why I call them financial advisors, because they're going to be more than just loan lenders. They're going to give you the secrets to getting a better and bigger home without having to put down, and get a job that's going to have to give you a raise. So
that's a great point. So, after you've got that loan, that you can get a home loan, and you feel comfortable with the payment. I mean, that's the thing Min says all the time. What's a mortgage? Fall in love with the payment, not with the house. And even though everybody's still falling in love with the house, you still have to feel comfortable with that mortgage payment. I've got a lot of people who come out and go, oh, well, I only want to pay X amount on the mortgage payment. But then they're looking at homes that are going to put them double that. And even if they get approved for it, they don't really want to pay that. So we have that conversation. Hey, at the end of the day, it's just basic math. There's going to be two things that are going to reduce your loan payment, interest rate or your down payment. So, once you're approved and you know what that rate is, you need to go out there and you need to look at homes that are in that price point, what it equates to. That's why it's so important to get with a lender right off the bat.
And then I was going to the next stage here is interview an agent.
Yeah.
Think about this, and I definitely advise clients, and all real estate agents should be advising clients at the moment. If your top dollar is $420,000, okay, and you're out there looking at $420,000 homes, I've had this, I don't know how many times in the past, let's call it 6 months, tell me I've got multiple offers all over asking. I mean, literally, take that in consideration.
Yep.
That you're looking at a house that you're putting down all your money and really you're not even in the running for it. So I would definitely either expand the area, and talk to your real estate agent. Hey, let me expand the area. Let me go look at other, let me go take other options. I don't want a 4-bedroom. Let's go to a 3-bedroom. Right?
Yeah, and you really do. You need to drop, like you're saying, you really need to be willing to drop where you're starting your search at 5 to 10% below what your comfort level is on that end, purchase price payment. That's what your real estate agent should be telling you. Absolutely.
And that's when you interview them, ask them that question. Hey, I'm qualified for $420,000 homes. Where should we start looking? What should we start doing? And you want to hear from them like, okay, I know that you want to ask, how's the market? You want to get the reaction from them. Everyone's going to say pretty much the market's red hot. Other things that we want to teach you out there is when you take your real estate agent and you go out and look at homes, the 5 things that you needed to know about every single home. This is to save you
huge.
Hundreds and hundreds up to $1,000 out of pocket before you actually write that offer. You can make determinations on what price you want it. Have it at. You want to know, hey, eyes wide open. That particular AC unit, it's original. It's 25 years old. I'm going to have to replace it. But I'll get a home inspection report. The home inspector is going to tell me that it's going to be replaceable. I want to walk into the house when I write the offer to have that knowledge already. So let's go over the 5 things real fast that you need to look at with your real estate agent. Number 1, the roof, right? All real estate agents should have some kind of idea of an age of a roof, the type and age. Number 2, we want to know about the plumbing. Now, obviously, I know Ryan is really good at picking out what he feels is underneath the house, but your agent needs to do it as well. So when you're looking at the outside, the outer plumbing, it's gonna tell you what type of plumbing should be through it. We shouldn't have cut up in different styles and different types, but that's number 2. 3, electrical. You always open the panel, right? Take a look at the panel. We want to see 100 amps, right? Minimum 100 amps. Bigger homes, we want to see minimum 200 amps. Number 4, foundation. Obviously, we can't crawl under the house, but what we can do is on a raised foundation of the older homes, you hear the squeaking or the kind of give. That's some of the issues that you'll have. You want to go over that with your real estate agent. If it's a regular foundation, then you want to go just check the cracks out. Where can you look for cracks? Slab, right?
Yep.
So you look in the garage. Is the garage having problems? Is the driveway having problems? Or, on some of my houses, you'll just simply go, well, I'm walking and it kind of slopes a little bit to the corner, right? Well, that would be a foundation issue. Before I write the offer, before I put down any money to get a home inspection, before I put $1 down for an appraisal, which are $400 to $500 each, I want to know that when I walk in the house, my eyes are wide open if I decide to write an offer on that property.
Yep, that's a great point. And and just round it off with number 5. Troy had mentioned it earlier, but it's your HVAC. So it's your heating and air conditioning. You want to make sure there's definitely things you can see. Is it a wall heater? Is it the old floor furnace? Is it, and if it's air conditioning, split system, what does the age look like outside? There are certain portions you can normally see. Now, a lot of newer homes, it's up in the attic, but you'll still have that condenser coil outside. And with that, condenser, you want to be able to look at it, get a gist of what age it is. So those are the things, and what Troy's talking about is you just want to go around and look at the big ticket items, some of the major components of the home, and know, hey, I'm probably gonna have to deal with that. This is the situation with the plumbing, like he's talking about, just so you're aware before you go and spend that money. You don't want to be completely shocked when all of a sudden this inspection report comes back and the plumbing's failing, the roof's failing, foundation's got cracks, and you're like, well, shoot, I was hoping I was going to be able to renovate this kitchen with my cool new, soft close cabinet doors and drawers with a quartz counter. And now I got to deal with an electric panel upgrade and all new wiring and the plumbing before I even get to the project I really wanted to do my Weekend Warrior HGTV, Chip and Joanna Gaines on. And now you're stuck. You're like, oh, well, I just blew the budget on stuff and my house still looks like it's from 1960s Brady Bunch. Like this isn't what I wanted. So you guys, you should be able to find an agent out there who knows enough about a house to walk you through those 5 things. And if you don't, go ahead, go back to some of our past videos. We'll go through those 5 things with you. And that way you're educated and you can take, that role in your home search out of your agent's hand. And also when we're talking about experience and knowledge, I dealt with a guy the other day, and I mean, the guy's old as dirt. I think his real estate license number was 1. And, he basically bought his son's home so that his son could move on to something else. And then he was going to kind of fix and flip it. And he ended up taking this offer for somebody who was way over asking, but they kept their appraisal contingency. And I'm like, Bob, I could have given you $1 million offer on this $500,000 home if I knew you were going to let me keep my appraisal contingency, but we went well over asking, well over the comps, and we had no appraisal contingency. These people are just going to claw back at you when the appraisal comes in short. Yeah, I might be calling you back. And I'm like, you're a joke. And you didn't even give me a counter offer on this. So I'm sure he's experienced. He used to flip 5 a year, he's telling me, or 5 at a time or whatever, but he's not in tune with today's market. So it's got to find that right mix where they've got that, they've got the education, they've got the knowledge, they've got that experience, but they're in tune with today's market. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're going to hit the field out there and you're just going to be, barking up the wrong tree, getting beat out, and watching in this market prices go up around you, which is absolutely where you do not want. So.
Well, fantastic. Let me go with a couple of shout outs before we get into the next one here. Abraham, Medina, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. Let's see here. Linda, great info. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that you're on and you're tuning in with us tonight. Justin Johnson, great info. Thank you very much, sir. There's one of the agents, a real insurance agent, that we've dealt with in the past. And I know that he actually has a lot of tips on how to actually save money on your home insurance.
Absolutely.
Gerda, it's you guys should do an answers we've gotten from other realtors. That's actually very good. Do me a favor. Tell me some of the funny ones that you've gotten back from real estate agents when you've interviewed them or you've even talked to some of them. Even at a party after a few drinks, I would definitely want to hear some of those.
I just got to throw one out there. It just cracked me up. We were working with another a Wham and House Heroes clan member the other day, looking at some homes out there, and I asked the agent, so I see some copper plumbing here and there, but there was galvanized up front. Do you know if they, what type of plumbing he has? She says, it's got regular plumbing. And I'm like, oh, man, I can't.
Check, please.
I just died laughing. And, the client's obviously, a Wham fam member. They've watched a lot of these videos. They know the 5 things. They're the ones pointing out half the stuff as we enter the house, asking me questions about the roof. And they were just looking at me like, what is that even supposed to mean? So,
got another one here. Abraham again. I started escrow 2 weeks ago. House delivered date is late November, early December. Should I consider locking in the interest rate or what? Or till 30 days out? I'm on FHA in Monterey County. So this is very interesting here. Now, typically, a lot of lenders are not going to allow you to lock any more than 90 days out. But I personally, it's gambling. It literally is gambling. If you have a really good, trustworthy loan officer and he's looking out after you, it's kind of like that bat phone, right? When he calls you, he's calling you for one thing. We're locking today. This is the day, right? So as you approach the November, December mark, you want to have that bat phone with you and have that connection with them. Because if as we get closer, when those rates hit under 3, and I'm talking,
yep.
You want to pick up that phone, you want to lock it in. I mean, I know it's tough if you got just an eighth of a point would have been the next day later. But also going forward, it could go up a half a point as well. Because obviously we just can't keep rates this low. They're going to stay low now, the Fed said, through 2021. But that doesn't guarantee they're going to be under 3 all the way through that period of time. So yeah, you want, if you have that really good lender, that bat phone, pick it up absolutely when he calls. What's up, guys? Sean, he said, what's the logic behind buying a house 35,000 over asking? Wow. Depends on the price of the home, but I mean, at this point, we're running into quite a lot of competition here in Southern California. I mean, I don't know too many homes that don't have a minimum of 5 offers on it, and I just keep getting the same thing from the listing agent. Hey, I ask them on the phone, I want to get rapport with them. That's one of the things you want to do when you're with your real estate agent. You want to always have a rapport. Hope he has rapport with the listing agent if you're on the buyer side. And I just get the same answers now, almost like a catty Caffey doll. Pull the string. Yeah, we have 10 offers over asking. We have 10 offers over asking. That's all I keep hearing over and over and over. So then you want to actually look at, and this is very, very interesting. It's a different strategy. You not only do you want to look at solds, but look at the pendings, and as they kind of ratchet up, look at the actives. And it's very, very interesting as you see it all kind of ratchet up. I literally just put an offer in that was $25,000 over asking on a $425,000 home. Guess what? Appraisal comes in. Appraisal came in. And I know Sarah Stevens is in here. Same with us. I mean, she knows it. I mean, we went out, looked at homes almost, and she got it right away. Like, hey, Troy, I get it. If we're going to get a home, we're going to go after over asking. Boom. I mean, and the appraisal came in. By the time you get the appraisal back 2 or 3 weeks later, that's already up there. It's already ratcheted up on most instances. I know it sounds crazy, but in certain areas, absolutely, it's exploding.
Well, yeah, and I'll just jump in on that. You got to remember, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the property is listed. It's listed for $1. I don't care what the seller bought it for. If they got the house given to them, at the end of the day, it's what that home is worth. And right now in this market, it's worth whatever a buyer is willing to pay for it. And with normally you've got the appraisal, and the appraisal is to protect the lender, and that's keeping prices down under constraint when things are starting to run off crazy, because it's always a trailing number. They're going to look at the last pass, close, and they're going to base their appraisal on comparable sold properties. So as things are going up, it just can't go up too fast. Right now in this market, there is so much demand and such little inventory. People are saying, well, I've got enough for my minimum down payment and the rate's good enough. I'm going to bring in the rest of my cash and throw it on top of that appraisal to get this house, because when they do, that's the next comp, and the next one gets listed here, and then it's going up from there. And it's just this ladder, and we've just seen it ratchet up. And today, like Troy just mentioned, property listed 500,000. We went 525 on that property. Got an email back. Hey, we got beat out. They went higher than you, and they were all cash, no contingencies, no inspection, no nothing. They're just going to take it and run 2-week escrow. And that's where the market is. So when you say why, what's the rationale of going 35 over? You've got to look at comps. You have to see what's pending right now. You have to see what other things have sold for in that neighborhood. And you have to know how many offers are coming in. Because at the end of the day, you got to beat out the other offers. And you have to be willing to close escrow on that property with bringing in some cash. Mm-hmm. So, you really got to look at the picture. What's a home worth and what's it worth to you? You don't want to just be throwing in offers on homes you don't like. But at the end of the day right now, to get in this market, you got to come over what those last comps.
Yeah.
So, and that's this, this top one here, offer over asking. And then you got number 2, no appraisal contingency. You got to be willing to pay what that home is worth. I get asked all the time. So wait, explain that to me, if it doesn't appraise. If you're buying a $500,000 home and you're putting 20% down, it's $100,000 down. That's what you're going to bring in, 100,000 plus your closing cost. Well, all of a sudden, if it only appraises at 400, you have to bring in that 80 grand, right? 20% of that 400,000 plus the difference, the other 100 grand. You got to bring that in on top. Now, normally you're not having huge swings like that, but you get the gist. If you're, looking at a $500,000 property and it comes in at 475, you're going to have still, roughly 100,000 down plus 25 grand on top of that. You're bringing in that dollar for dollar difference over the appraised value. And normally if you've got an appraisal contingency, you can back out and say, oh, it didn't appraise, we're going to go on and find something else. Or you could go back to the seller and say, hey, seller, it appraised low. Can you drop the price down to the appraised value? Or maybe we split it somewhere in the middle. But you've got those choices. In this market, I don't know of any offers that have gotten accepted on anything that I've put in for any of my clients in the last month that have had an appraisal.
No.
Every one of them has been removed. I know I've removed them all mine, and we're still getting beat out. And we're going 5 or 10% above ask on everything.
Yeah. And that's what Sean's saying. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Over appraisal? Absolutely. I mean, This is the market we're in. I mean, and this is an unprecedented market that we've never seen.
It is.
It literally is.
And, I look back at like 2005, 6, 7, there's some crazy summers in there. And it would get kind of heated. Like you might have multiple offers. We never removed appraisal contingency, like maybe once, twice. I mean, it was unheard of to remove an appraisal contingency. We always kept our loan contingency. We always kept our inspection contingency. Now I see those things just get thrown out like people bailing out of a plane. And what's wild is, with COVID, we talked about this, the last couple of weeks and on our weekly update. I really feel that, August is the new May. So right now we are in the heat of it. Like we normally enter the spring selling season. There's limited inventory. People haven't got around to putting their homes on the market yet, and everybody's out looking still. That's where we're at. August is the new May. What's interesting though is I don't really see anything that's going to, put more volume in the way of listings on the market. So those are going to be the things. Rates are going to stay low. The 10-year treasury is remaining low. And what's interesting is even though the 10-year treasury is as low as it is, the rates actually got a higher spread in it than normal. So we might even see the 10-year treasury go up and rates still stay low because there's already so much built-in margin. Because rates, these lenders, it's like they're drinking out of a fire hose right now with the amount of loans coming their way between finances and new purchase money business. So it's like they went to turn on the spigot and it's just like boom in their face. So that the only thing they can do to get people to stop applying to get a refinance from them, to stop getting a mortgage, is to just throw the rates up. So there's certain lenders out there, if you look at it 1 week to another week, all of a sudden they'll just throw the rates up 0.5%, 0.25%, because they want people to take the business elsewhere, but they don't want to have to shut down all their systems. So they'll just go in and throw in a ridiculous rate. And if somebody's really coming in, hey, we'll take it because we'll make a ton of money on it. But if they're really shopping, they need to go elsewhere. And that's one of those things back on the mortgage side. Get in, get approved, get a second opinion on your mortgage rate. But you got to do that up front so that when you get to this situation, you find a home you like, you've already got your DU approval, you've already got, all of your funds figured out, and hey, if this appraisal comes in short, what is it really going to cost me to buy this house? And I just had that conversation with Justin earlier today. So, it's like, hey, what do you think the lowest this home will appraise for? That, hey, home here, I think the lowest is going to be 5.25. We're in at 535. You might be bringing in that 10 grand spread. That's where I see it worst case. And so those are the things you need to be ready for. So, and no seller paid closing costs.
Yeah.
I've only had one deal in the last 45 days with seller paid closing costs, and they were very lucky. They're buying in a community where there's it's more custom homes and things. So every home's not a track home. They've all got their own like quirks and features and stuff. And in that community, it's an awesome community actually. But in that one, things move a little bit slower, and we were able to get closing costs on that one. So looking forward to handing out keys for them Friday. And then you've got agent's relationship with that listing agent. And I know Troy was just talking about that, right? Tell us a little bit about that again, Troy. What should their agent really be trying to get out of that other listing agent?
So it's number one, rapport. Once you get rapport, they feel comfortable with you. They know that you're experienced. That's what you want you want to feel that with your real estate agent, and you want the other listing agent to feel that same way. That rapport. Then you want to extract information. Okay, so with this, I sent an offer over. How many offers do you have? Is my offer competitive? When are you going to go and talk to the seller and give me a decision, or give me a reply on my offer. And then you proud them a little bit, like, hey, you know what? I mean, we came in real strong, no appraisal, $20,000 over asking. Do you think that is a winner? Do you think that's a winner? I ask those questions up front. And then I have, to be honest with you, then I have a kind of I know the market's hot, and I have that conversation like, what's going on with the market with you? And once they see that I have some kind of experience and I know what I'm talking about and we understand what all the terms are, it makes people feel at ease, like this guy can close. This guy's a closer. So I'm going to take his particular offer with this client and put it on top because I know it's going to close. And I'm going to deal with a professional real estate agent that's going to pick their phone up every time. Make sure you demand that from your real estate agent, that when you make that phone call within an hour, you want to make sure they're calling you back.
Yeah, and on that note, we've got a listing right now. Agent started out kind of good. Okay, hey, did you get my offer? Yeah, I got it. I called him to clarify some stuff. Oh, let me call you back in 5 minutes. Didn't call me back all night. I'm texting him the next morning. Gives me some, a little more clarification on some of the things we're trying to straighten out. And then I go, okay, I need DU, desktop underwriting, approval from your lender. Blink, silence. And it's like, all right, well, I've got 3 more offers that have come in while I've been talking to you. All he had to do was communicate with me so I could get that information to my seller. But he literally is going to walk his client out of this home when they were in pole position. I mean, they were the leaders.
So going over the 4 tips for success to get your offer accepted, right? 4, right? It's very, very important. All 4 of them, you almost have to check this box, all 4 of these boxes every time. Number 1, you want to over asking offer. There is no question. That's all I ever hear is like, oh, I got, how many offers you have? I have 7, and they're all over asking. Second is no appraisal contingency. I know it's a tough one, but you've got to go in and your client, as a client, need to have a few extra bucks on the side just in case it doesn't come in. Now, if the appraisal doesn't come in, that's not the end of the world. You still can negotiate with the seller, but they're pretty much not even going to take a look at it unless you release your appraisal contingency. Number 3, no seller closing costs paid. And we're starting to see that on a constant basis in the MLS private remarks. I know some of the people that go on to Zillow or all these other, outside media platforms such as Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, the private remarks and the listing remarks are not in Zillow. Not at all. We see them all the time, right? I go and check them because they're going to give me the information to be as successful, to get a hold of the other agent and to write the offer clean, right? Many of them say, the seller will not consider any offers with seller paid closing costs. It's just straight up. They're just straight up and saying it at this point, boldly, never seen it before. Started seeing it about 4 or 5 months ago. Now it's just like with the appraisal contingency, it's the norm. You want a house, these are the terms that you have to get. The number 4 success is, again, the agent relationship with the listing agent. Very, very important. If he has a great rapport and a great, communication with you, then you want to take that and say he's pretty much going to have the exact same communication with the other agent, and you'll feel very comfortable. At least you'll have a shot at your offer being accepted.
Yeah, and really that's what I feel like my whole goal is. When we're out there, my client says, hey, I like this home, I want to write an offer. I'm not even thinking about the offer itself. I'm thinking about how am I going to get a hold of this agent, get us in pole position. Like you're saying, Troy, is like, hey, I've got this, client that, I try and sell them on it. And then, hey, do you think that's a winner? Just like you said. Problem is, I can't get them to pick up the phone half the time. I can't get them to text back. The biggest, hardest problem right now, I feel, and stresses me out the most, is not being able to get a hold of that listing agent because they're buried in offers, their phone's blowing up, and they just don't want to take the call because every good agent out there is doing the same. But there's just, there's not enough good agents.
Right. Hit the next slide, Ryan, because that's what I kind of went over.
Yeah, that's it. So we're good to go. I just want to do a couple more shout outs. So what's up, Danielle and Cenas? Good seeing you on here. Sarit, good seeing you. Evelyn, good seeing you. Thanks for joining us. Jeff Collins, long time no see, bro. Good to see you on here. Stephanie Haas, congrats. So close to that closing. So escrow is going to be closed today. Escrow is being closed tomorrow. So we can't close tomorrow, Troy. What's that about? So unfortunately, we got to wait a day on that one. So and then Justin, looking forward to getting you in a house here soon. And Mayfair, good to see you as well. And then, I skipped over a few here. So Sherry Lejean wants to get a copy. We will get that out to you. Thank you guys for watching us here at the House Heroes. We really appreciate it. If you guys have questions, please, like we said, we're interactive. Go ahead and shoot them out to us. Even if you're watching this after we're off of our live, we will definitely get back to you. I know if it's not us seeing it right away, Heather's normally going through and checking on stuff, and she'll, hey guys, you got a question here, go answer it. So we want to make sure we get back to all you.
I got a couple shout outs, Ryan.
Yeah.
Actually, he's saying I'm starting the refi, doing a streamline. Fantastic. Get that payment lower. Get it down. Sarah, the garage was a huge indicator of foundation issues in the house we looked at. I mean, we actually got a foundation in the house that we had looked at prior. We got a foundation inspector in there. So we had a home inspector, and he said, okay, there's a few issues here. Let's go take a bigger look at it. And then we did an inspection for the foundation. It was pretty interesting that the seller was cooperating and was going to give us the money. Great. Exactly. The issue is that it now not only is the money, but it's also the time that it takes to do that, right? You got to pull the flooring up. You have the company come in and do all the work. It was about $30,000, and the seller was willing to give us off the price of the property as well as reduce our closing costs to nothing. But still, it's just the time, to do it. So that's also be taken consideration. Sarah, Troy was really great in checking all kinds of things when we were looking at homes. Thank you very much, Sarah. I appreciate it. Hopefully we're closing your home, your and Matt's home this week. Real excited about that. Abraham, Medina, thanks, Troy. I'm talking to my lender agent tomorrow. Hey, and by the way, congratulations, Abraham. I know it's exciting. You're a little down the road, but congratulations, brother. Sarah, our home was listed at $480, appraised at $505. 3 weeks later, that's insane. That guy had 25 offers. And again, it was rapport, and it was, hey, this guy's going to close, and even 25,000 over asking, it appraised still. And it was just no way. The agent at first said, there's just no way it's going to happen. I said, hey, believe, because the market's that hot. Sean, we're supposed to close Friday, but the house appraised 35 under agreed purchase. So we lost the house because we couldn't come up with the cash. So there's a few things there's additional information.
Yeah.
35,000 over. Okay, the number one thing your agent should do, and please check this out. When you're offering over asking price, so if you go on Zillow right now, the actual price of the property is what's on the MLS. It just reciprocates. Everything starts at the mothership, which is the MLS. Then it just reciprocates to Realtor.com and to Zillow. When you go into escrow and you're begin to go in escrow and you're 35,000 over asking, okay, and you guys went above asking, you want to make sure your agent contacts the other agent and raises the price to the price that you brought in. Very, very, very big tip. You want to make sure that you got to tell your agent. And let me take it
a couple notches higher than that. Really, when you've removed your appraisal contingency and it's your dollars on the line, you absolutely should have your agent meet that appraiser out there. You want to have, I just met an appraiser last week. I had every offer that was on that property that we had. So I showed them, here are the 6 offers, so they could see how many were well over the asking price. We had bumped the MLS price up to reflect. Now, the appraiser's not dumb. They can see the MLS history. They look at that stuff. But it just indicates to them, hey, this is where the market is. This is what they're in escrow at. I showed them all of the offers we had and showed them that we had a cluster up near the one we offered, which was accepted, which is a high one. And, we went through all of the list of upgrades. This is why, this home should be appraised for more based on these key features, which add value to the home. And then obviously I printed out all of the comps that I thought supported the value of that house so I could review them with them. Now, you got to be careful and tread lightly. Some appraisers will get really mad. They don't want to see anything. Most good ones will be open to the conversation. Like, okay, yeah, what comps do you have? And they'll even flip through, okay, yeah, I have that comp. I need that comp. Oh, so where's that one? All right. I've had multiple appraisers go, okay, I think I can use that one. Yeah, that actually helps. And they always, always, always love to have a spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet of all of the key upgrades and their value. I think that's one of the biggest winners to help me get that home appraised for what we offered and got under contract for. And I do this on all of my listings when I'm worried about it coming in short. And I absolutely do it for my buyers. If I'm able to get there and be there at that time, I absolutely want to. Sometimes the way the lender's scheduling it goes to the listing agent and I'm not notified and I get cut out of the loop. I hate that. That's like, it frustrates me more than anything. I want to be there. I want to be able to help my client get that value so they don't have to bring in that cash difference. And just if you're in a situation, remove your appraisal contingency, and it still comes in less and you can't bring in that whole amount, don't worry. You could potentially still have your your loan contingency to fall back on, because if you all of a sudden bring in all this money, but you don't have enough money for reserves or DTI, then technically you can most likely use your loan contingency to back out. And end of the day, you were the top bidder for this property. I just had one recently. The appraisal came in way lower than we thought, lower than a past comp actually, which blew all of our minds. I was able to go back to that listing agent and go, hey, if you cancel on us, what's your next one down? What's that price? Okay, well, why don't you just give it to us at that price now? And that was enough to keep the deal together, drop the price down. My client was able to make up the difference, and that's now a new comp. And with some of the stuff that's been in escrow now since then, they're going to have value, just like you were talking about, Troy.
Yeah, equity.
So, yeah. So just make sure that you're following those steps if you're going to be in that situation with coming in above asking.
Mm-hmm. Here's a few more, Brian. It's Harold Milano. What's a good way of guessing approximate appraisal for a house? The comps are completely nuts at the moment. Definitely get with your real estate agent, Harold. I know I met you already, and I know you're out there and you're a really smart guy. Definitely get with your agent and have him do a market analysis on that house. And then he can predict even the future because of the housing market going up so quickly. The only thing that might hurt anyone in a market analysis is that there's a shortage of homes. So there might not be a lot of homes within a mile, within the 10% of the square footage of the home. That's kind of the two major factors of it. So yeah, get with him.
These appraisers, they're only going to really look and put weight in the closed sales. They don't care what things are listed for. They don't care what's pending. Now, one of the key tricks is you want to call or have your agent call all of the homes that are pending that are going to help your value. And I call them and I reach out and say, hey, I see your home at 123 Main Street's pending. I really need that comp to close to get my value that my client's in escrow at. Do you mind me asking when you plan on closing escrow and where you were roughly on that purchase price? Most agents will give me a ballpark. Someone will just give me everything. Hey, yeah, we had multiple offers. We're ready to close next week, and this is the price we're at. And that's awesome. I take the notes and I give it to the appraiser. Hey, I talked to this agent. I know the market and I know the area, and they weigh that very heavily at that point because they know what you're talking about and you did your homework. So, sorry to interrupt on that one.
No problem. As Sarah said, we definitely pitted Troy against some worky agents in our search. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy when you say, hey, it's on city sewer. Oh, no, I forgot. It's actually a septic. And the worst part about that particular one, and Sarah, we all laughed about it. Now we can laugh about it now, big time, is that they tell you it's on city and they send you over a septic inspection. So how do you send a septic inspection and if it's on city, and then we're like, oh my God, it turned into a complete mess. Sean said it's a bad sign if the house has been on the market for 10 days. It's shown many times, but it hasn't gotten any offers. That is probably one of the most craziest things I would say in the last 10 years of my real estate experience. But today, that's a normal statement. That's absolutely, Sean Francis. That's a normal statement, and we're just living in times. Times just completely changed. So Sarah said, listen to Troy, put in 6 offers, 4 accepted, 1 kept as a backup. He knows what he's doing. I gotta say, Sarah, that is extremely rare. It is. I will.
Way to waste 4 good ones, Troy.
3 other good ones, right?
There's the real estate karma catching up to you.
Oh, absolutely. Sean, you guys are awesome. Thank you very much, Sean. I really hope that you don't stop your your search. Keep going out there, brother, and keep
absolutely,
plugging away.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great point. I think the number one thing here, Troy, you talk about all the time, you just have to persevere. You have to keep going out there, showing homes, seeing homes, writing offers. You're either going to find one and get it accepted, or one of the ones you offered on, that person, who went way over their head on it, they're going to get the cold feet. They're going to back out, and you're going to be there right where you should have been all along and get that home. So I know I got contacted by 2 agents today who are thinking about pulling the plug on the offers they accepted and moving.
And that actually is another thing that you want to consider with your real estate agent is that, with all these crazy appraisal contingency removals, think about it, guys. Your agent wants to stay in touch with that particular agent in case it falls out, because many times some of those agents are lazy. They won't put the house back on the market, and you'll be sitting there. So if I go back to Sean and they put it back on the market, and it's $35,000, they're still looking at that 35,000 more, I should say. Just keep in touch. Sooner or later, you already have gone through that process. You can close quickly, right? You've already gone to the very bitter end at this point. They just need to say, yes, let's lower the price. Or go back and say, hey, we'll come up with $5,000-$10,000 of difference if it's possible for you. Think about those other options that you have.
Yep. And that's it. So, if your agent should never be rude when they get rejected, or, your offer gets rejected. I always ask, well, where was it at? How far off were we? And then I'll follow up with them, 3 days out, a week out, and I'll even ask them, hey, so how long is your inspection contingent? How long is your appraisal contingent? All right, cool. And I'll just put a note in my calendar and just call them back, and I'll let my clients know, hey, let's check back in 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. And they always will remind me, hey, did you ever talk to, whoever? Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Let me hit them up. Let me email them. Let me call them. Let me text them. And that's what you got to do. Definitely got to keep in touch. So a couple more shout outs. Yeah.
And then the last one is Harold Milano again. Can you have multiple agents? I didn't sign a contract. Absolutely. Because it's sometimes the interview process is actually the viewing home process at the same time, right? You've talked to them, you felt comfortable with them, and then when you're out there with them, you want to make sure that whatever they're talking about and the things that we actually try to teach you about, that they're actually showing you those things. So Harold, absolutely, it's an on the job interview basically, right? Definitely do that, Harold. You want to make sure you have the best experience you possibly can and get the best service you possibly can as well.
Absolutely. A couple more shout outs here. Benny Pena's watching. What's up, Benny? Keith, love it. Looking forward to you getting a new home. Yeah. Keith Ryan's out there. And then Patty and Maria Tomasini.
Hey, Maria.
The best TC around right there. Next to my wife. And then Karina's watching as well.
Well, thank you very much. I know you had other things to do on here on a Tuesday night. We definitely appreciate it. Any of the comments you have, you can continue. We will answer them for you. If you want a copy of our summer home buyers guide, please DM us. That's the easiest way and the fastest way to get it. We'll get that out to you. Otherwise, guys, you have any final comments here, Ryan?
No, that's it. Just be out there. If you guys are looking at getting a house, definitely, like we talked about, get with a lender, get approved, and be educated so you can jump in with. Take the plunge. Got to get in. Got to, get it. That's it.
All right. We'll see you guys on Friday. Deal of the week. If you want to kind of hang out, Thursday, 8 o'clock is Roxy in Espanol. And then we put out weekly market update every Friday, 8 p.m., telling you about the market for the week. What county you're in, Orange, Riverside, San Bernardino. How'd your county do? Is it going up? Is it going down? Is there more listings? Is what percentage every one of those homes or all those homes are averaging in that particular county? So
yep. How many days before it's sold out?
Oh my gosh. Crazy. So thank you very much. Take care and be safe.
Peace and God bless.